Yes guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel, welcome to episode number 18 of our EAFC25 rebuild career mode here with Sheffield Wednesday. And a bit of an apology to start this episode off with. For some reason the recordings actually corrupted for the first part of this episode, so we actually didn't manage to get the recordings of the first two games of this episode against Norwich and against West Brom, but fortunately for us we did win them both. 4-1 massive win against Norwich and a 2-1 win against West Brom, but unfortunately it did come at a cost. In the West Brom game we did get a 2-month injury for Piotrowski and a 3-month, you'll see here, injury for the captain Barry Bannon. So two of our central midfielders, obviously Piotrowski covering right back as well, but two of our big star players are unfortunately injured for a couple of months, which means we are going to have to dip back into the transfer market to see if we can bring anyone in to replace those two players. And we did actually, for the first time in this career mode, look to spend some of the money. Obviously we mentioned we can only spend what we bring in. Obviously we sold Fasiri for 300k and we sold Kabaki for 2.1 million, which gave us 2.4 million to spend, and we went out and spent just over £1 million on Alan Campbell, the 27-year-old central midfielder from Dundee United. We know that Barry Bannon's obviously going to be retiring at the end of this season as well, so we needed a sort of first team replacement for him. Obviously we've got youngsters coming through in terms of Hayward, Jenkins, etc., but someone who's ready made, ready to go. And Alan Campbell fit the profile, and replacing the Scotsman in Barry Bannon with another Scotsman, Alan Campbell, you can't go too far wrong. So Alan Campbell for just over £1 million. We did offer him a wage of £6,000 per week, obviously fitting into that wage structure. And to be fair, it actually brings it down a little bit, because obviously if Barry Bannon does retire at the end of the season, he's on £9,000, Alan Campbell's on £6,000, so that's a £3,000 a week reduction. So really happy to get him in. He will be a first choice. Obviously he will be first choice, especially whilst Barry Bannon and Piotrowski are both out injured, but even when they come back, obviously Piotrowski is more of a right back cover now, and then obviously Barry Bannon, we know that his rating's going to go down with the injury, etc. So Alan Campbell will likely be a first choicer in that central midfield role, with someone like Austin Hayward being that rotation, that young player to come in, build up his rating, and obviously get a game time as and when we do need him. But a really good signing. I'm really happy to bring Alan Campbell over to Hillsborough and over to Sheffield Wednesday. And we do stick him on a box-to-box development plan. We know he's not going to grow too much. Like I say, he is 27 years old. He's not going to grow massive amounts, but hopefully he can do a job for us. And we go into the game again against Norwich. Obviously, you saw we beat them 4-1 away from home in the league, but actually we do play them straight afterwards in the Carabao Cup. Obviously we beat Bromley on penalties in the last episode in the Carabao Cup, and we do have Norwich in the next round. Ikugbo scored 2 goals against Norwich in that league game in that 4-1 victory, so he is starting. Obviously Kadamaturi is injured as well, so he is starting up front for us, and hopefully we can get a good result and build on that win that we did have against Norwich and beat them again. And the first chance falls to Ikugbo here. Unfortunately couldn't quite get it. It falls back to Hayward, but unfortunately his shot was blocked. It does come back to Alex Campbell. Really changed up team here. Only really Alex Campbell, the left winger, and Ikugbo, the first teamers that are starting this game. And then we do have obviously Alan Campbell, the central midfielder, making his debut out here as well. So we do have Alex Campbell now on the left wing, Alan Campbell in central midfield. So we'll have to obviously keep an eye on that one. But nothing came from that attack for us originally, and then Norwich did get a chance there for Onel Hernandez. Fortunately for us, a good save from young goalkeeper Parkinson, and then Jonathan Rowe could do nothing with the follow-up. And then another chance for us about 17 minutes in. Alex Campbell once again finds Ikugbo, decent shot, but a good save from the Norwich goalkeeper. And we mentioned obviously Parkinson there. He played an absolute blinder in the last episode of that penalty shootout against Bromley, saving 3 of the 4 Bromley penalties. So definitely wanted to reward him for another start here, but unfortunately he didn't manage to keep a clean sheet in this game, and Norwich did take the lead about 25 minutes into the game. And it is Onel Hernandez. The ball came in from the right hand side. Onel Hernandez pretty much straight in front of the goal, and just needed to tap that one in to give Norwich a 1-0 lead. And then a couple of minutes later, Kronac gets the turn, gets the shot, gets blocked, but falls to Onel Hernandez once again, and he fires it in. Again, fairly straightforward goal, in front of goal with no one around him, and he gets his and Norwich's second goal of the game to give them a 2-0 lead. But going towards sort of half time, 10 minutes left before the end of the half, it's the new boy Alan Campbell gets a chance here with his right foot. Not enough power on that shot really, and it was a decent save from a Norwich goalkeeper to tip it wide. And then just before half time, Norwich got a corner of their own. Onel Hernandez beats the defender, gets into the box, Plays it back to Kenny McLean. Kenny McLean looks to get the shot away on that left foot of his, but fortunately for us, fires it just wide of the post to keep the scores at 2-0 going into half-time to Norwich. But 5 minutes into the second half, unfortunately, Norwich did take a 3-0 lead. Jonathan Rowe, he absolutely tore us down that right-hand side for them. We had obviously a Marvy, the new boy, playing left-back, and Jonathan Rowe was giving him an absolute torrid time, and he got his reward for his persistence in the first half with that goal for him to give Norwich a 3-0 lead. Norwich weren't going to lie down there. They did get another chance here. Kronach getting the ball again, a decent shot once again, but fortunately Parkinson was there and just managed to block the shot, and it went out, and nothing came from the resulting corner. We did get another chance of our own 15 minutes before the end here. Jan Valery wins a header into Hayward. Hayward plays it back to Jan Valery. Jan Valery on that right foot gets a decent shot away, but not quite in the corner and not enough power, and it was saved by the goalkeeper. And then just before the end of the game, Jamal Lowe gets forward here, gets a shot away from a decent angle, and I think he caught the goalkeeper off guard a little bit, and the goalkeeper had to make that outstretched save, tip it around for a corner, which Devon Long, the youngster, will fire in with that left foot of his, plays it over. Jamal Lowe once again gets the header, but unfortunately puts it wide of the post, and that is how the game ended. So a 3-0 win for Norwich at Hillsborough. And unfortunately, that is where our EFL Cup journey does come to an end. So we couldn't get any further. Obviously, the draw with the resulting win through penalties against Bromley, and then the loss against Norwich. And we did get a couple more injuries. Alex Campbell, luckily only a 5-day one, but a big one for Jordan Amarvi. Obviously, we've only recently bought him in as a free agent, but he's unfortunately broken his toe and is out for 3 months. So that cover for Max Lowe is already gone for 3 months. So we dipped back into the free agent market. Hakeem Odafin, who I believe in real life has just joined Luton. He is a centre-back. He can actually, on the game, he can actually play centre-back, centre-mid and attacking mid as well, I think. But the idea here was basically get a player who's versatile, so he can play centre-back. That'll be his main position, but he can play right-back. Obviously, Piotrowski's out injured. He can play potentially left-back. Obviously, Amarvi's recently got injured as well. Can bring him into that central midfield role. Obviously, Barry Bannon's injured. So a versatile player who can play across sort of a number of positions, and he's actually better rated than Dominic Iorfa. Not that we're going to replace Dominic Iorfa with him first team, but he's a player who can play in multiple positions, and obviously if we need to play Iorfa right back and Odafin in centre back, we'll have a look at that. So a decent player to bring in, especially as a free agent, 70 rated, and he can definitely do a job for us. So yeah, really happy with that deal, and obviously that comes off the back of that signing of Alan Campbell as well. So a couple of decent players to bring in, and hopefully they can strengthen the squad. Obviously the injuries we've had, we can't replace them fully because we know they're going to come back, and we don't want too much of a stacked squad, but we obviously needed some players, and that's where the free agents do come in, where they're good because they come in free, we don't have to pay for them, and then obviously if we need to, we can sell them further down the line. And the final signing we actually get of the summer transfer window, should I say, is another free agent, and a big one to be fair, Ricky J. Jones, striker, only 22 years old, 67 rated already, so definitely room for growth here as well. Absolutely rapid, I think he's got about 92 pace, and obviously we've got Ikugbo up front, we've got Kadamurti as sort of the replacement striker, and then obviously we brought Ricky J. Jones in now as well to add to that strike force as well. But the beauty with Ricky J. Jones is with his pace, he can definitely be a threat on the wings as well. So he can definitely cover Jamal Lowe on that right wing. He can definitely cover Alex Campbell on that left wing as well. Obviously we have got Devon Long, the youngster as well, but it just gives us a few more options, that strength and depth as well. So we're really, really happy to get Ricky J. Jones into it. Like I say, he's probably not going to take Ikugbo's starting striker spot, but he'll definitely get game time. 91 pace you see there, he'll definitely get game time, whether it's down the middle, whether it's down the wings, and we do actually look to convert him to a right winger just to sort of increase his rating, increase his stats, etc. And it's only going to take him a couple of weeks, so a really good player to bring in. But we go back into the final game of this episode at home against newly promoted Lincoln City. Obviously, we've started off really well in the league so far. We've got the draw against Watford, the wins against West Brom and Norwich, and hopefully we're looking to obviously continue that going forward as well. And against the newly promoted side, should hopefully get someone out of this game. Ikugbo's in great form, 3 goals in his last 3 games, 2 of those coming against Norwich in that last league game for us as well. And you saw there we were starting the new centre-back Odafin as well, and Dominic Iorfa at right back, just to give Jan Valery a break. Obviously with Piotrowski out, Jan Valery played the cup game as well, so it was a good chance to get the new boy a little bit of game time here. And we got off to a good start here. Ikugbo picks ball up, Alan Campbell played it through, Ikugbo on that left foot, absolutely smashes it with his left foot into that top corner and gives us an early lead about 20 minutes into the game. And like I say, we were fairly confident we could definitely get something out of this game against Lincoln, especially at home, the players we've got. I think the thing is, our first team's really good. I think it's sort of reserves and the subs and the squad depth, which is really the problem. Obviously, we've got a lot of young players who can do a job but aren't consistent enough. Our first team, like I say, is really good. It's just that second string team that we might struggle a little bit with, which is where we need the sort of depth in numbers. But in terms of that first team, I'm comfortable with the team we've got. I don't think we necessarily need to bring anyone in as a first team player, and we actually managed to get a 2-0 lead early in the second half here. Ingleson picks the ball up from a bit of sloppy play from Lincoln, nicks a ball from the defender's feet and manages to slot it in. And then the new boy, Ricky J. Jones, we do bring him on in that left wing position for Devon Long. Devon Long picked up a little bit of a knock in this game, so Ricky J. Jones come on, and like I say, although he's a striker in game, we've converted him to the right wing, and obviously he can play on either wing as well with that pace as well. So we're really looking forward to obviously seeing what he could do and what he could bring to this team. And he actually picks up the ball here 15 minutes from the end of the game, picks up the ball down the left here, a couple of step overs, cuts inside onto that stronger right foot of his, decent shot, catches goalkeeper off guard a little bit, wasn't quite in the corner, so wasn't really going to cause him too many problems, but it did obviously count as a shot on target, and the goalkeeper did have to save it to put it wide. I mean, Alan Campbell gets a okay chance there, but just pokes at it and unfortunately goes wide of a post, so the scores do stay at 2-0. Unfortunately, Lincoln did get one back. You can see there Deshaun Bernard's injured in the middle of the box, playing everyone on side, so a little bit of unfortunate situation for us, but Lincoln did get one back through Smith with that header with Deshaun Bernard down injured in the box. But obviously, hopefully we still have a lead at this point, so hopefully we can see this one out. Aikubo gets a final chance again, cuts into that right foot, but unfortunately, powerful shot, but unfortunately fairly down the middle and pushed wide easily by the goalkeeper to keep the scores at 2-1. And then from the resulting corner, Ingleson plays it in. It's so awful with a header, again a really good header to be fair, but a good save from the goalkeeper, and luckily the scores did stay at 2-1 to give us them 3 points and another good victory for us. But again, unfortunately, a couple more injuries for us. Devon Long is out for 3 months and Deshaun Bernard out for short term as well, but luckily one player did come back, which was Alex Campbell returning from injury, and we did get another bit of good news, Kadamurti coming back from injury as well. Again, with those two, won't be ready straight away, but obviously should be back in the next couple of weeks, or in the next couple of games should I say. And then Ricky J. Jones, his right wing position swap is ready, he goes up to a 68 rating, and obviously that's good going forward. But that's going to bring the episode to an end. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button to follow the journey. Comment any suggestions, take care of yourselves, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.